Hey you guys, so I was doing an Instagram live earlier and I realized how long it's been since I've been on YouTube. I don't think I posted, I don't really remember the last time I posted, so it's been too long, clearly. So this is a video I've been needing to make, but I've been dreading making, but also like really wanted to make. I don't know. So this is actually my second time recording this video. I recorded it before, but I felt like I was still too angry about the situation to be able to really talk about it. So it's been a little while now. Obviously, if you've read the title, then you know I got bit while at work. I was not grooming a dog. You'd think that would be the time I got bit, right? No, it was not a groomed dog that bit me. So let's get right into it. So I work at a shop. I'm just gonna be honest. That's how I've wanted to be since I started YouTube, is really transparent. So let me just start by saying that I'm a 1099 employee. I know that's not smart on my part. I know I shouldn't be working as a 1099. And this situation has really made me realize like how incredibly stupid it is of me to work as a 1099 employee. But that's something that really ties into this story. So yeah, let's just get started. Like I said, I needed to just start there. So basically anytime that I have a groom dog that the owner has told me is difficult, or it's just like overly big, Luna, I'm outside with my dogs, so don't mind me, I'm supervising, but anyway, so anytime, like I said, anytime I get a dog that I don't think I can do by myself, I have my boyfriend come out and help me. Luna, what are you eating? Luna, come here. So anyway, I had this dog. It was a Springer Spaniel, and I tried to groom him before. He was very, oh, my boyfriend just got home. I'll have to see. So anyway, so the dog was very difficult. I was only able to give him a bath. I really couldn't get his haircut done. He was way too wiggly, way too all over the place, and I could just tell like it just wasn't gonna go well. So I did his bath, and I think I did his nails the first time, and I sent him home. I recommended that they do some practice at home with the clippers, because he was just very sensitive to like all noises, whether it be the Dremel or whatever, any noise at all, he was kind of freaking out about. So I was like, you know, really work with the clippers, get him really comfortable, and we can try again. So they called back a couple months later, and they wanted to know if I would groom him with a tranquilizer. Now, this has since changed, but at the time, I was okay with trying it with a tranquilizer. I hadn't personally worked on a dog that had been on a tranquilizer before. I've given them to my dog because he is afraid of thunderstorms. I didn't have much luck with them, so I actually don't use that anymore for him. I actually had a very similar situation to what happened with these tranquilizer dogs. Oh, get him!
You guys look scary. He's all standing there.
They're scary.
You ready to attack, Rocco?
Yep.
Attack me.
Luna, what are you eating? Drop it. What is that? What does she have? Luna, drop it. No. Was it a pecan? What is it?
I think it is a pecan. Maybe she like crunched it real good.
Let me see it. I'm doing a video for that dog bite. This is what Luna was eating. I've been yelling at her, but anyway. So where were we? Okay, tranquilizer dog. He, at the time, I was still taking tranquilizer dogs. I had two different tranquilizer dogs that didn't go very well. I didn't really notice much of a difference with them being on the tranquilizer, other than they were sleepier and a little snappier because they were kind of out of it. So anyway, hey, Max just started beating up Luna. Max, come here. He does this. He starts picking on her, and then he makes her mad, and then she goes after him. But anyway, so we take this tranquilizer dog, right? And I have Derek come with me to come up and do this dog. And we get him up there. The mom comes in the back. You know, she basically, Maximilian, she essentially, this dog she took in not too long ago, and she's had a lot of problems with him from the beginning. He was essentially a dog that he's from a breeder. The breeder adopted him out to somebody that wasn't taking care of him. He was locked in a crate most of his life, so he'd kind of been through it. So the owner was really trying everything that she could with him. So she comes back and she's talking to us for a little bit. She was trying to see, because when he got there, she said on the car ride there, he was kind of zoning out. She gave him the tranquilizer like an hour and a half before she brought him. She'd tried it previously and it took about 2 hours to kick in, so she kind of brought him around the time that we'd be hitting that 2-hour mark. So she sat in the back with us because, like I said, when he got there, he was really amped up. He was really fighting the tranquilizer. So she came in the back and we just sat there for a while, and he finally kind of stopped. He kind of calmed down and started to lay down and just kind of relax. So she decided she was gonna go. And then me and Derek were going to go ahead and get started on this dog. So she goes out my door and she goes up front, and the other people I work with decided to let the dogs into the front room. Now this is where it gets really bad. So there's a dog that comes to our daycare. There are many. See, this is why I had trouble making this video the first time, because it just turned into me just like being really mad at my place of work. No, we're just gonna be honest. There's quite a few dogs that come to the daycare that don't have any business going to a daycare at all. They are aggressive towards other dogs, and it is dangerous. So we have this repeat offender that he constantly has issues, especially with new dogs, specifically unneutered males. It is almost impossible to put him with an unneutered male. He is neutered. I don't know what that's about, but either way. So the dogs, Luna, come here. Luna. She's like still messing with that spot. I think this is a pecan she's trying to eat. I don't know. I don't want her eating random. You don't need to be eating out here. You have food. So anyway, my groom dog, the Springer, is up by the door. This other dog was a golden. He was on the other side of the door, and he smells my dog through the door and he starts banging it. Well, my door had a little latch on it that kind of goes like this, and there's like a little bar right here. So he's hitting the door. This is moving around, pops up, and he pushes my door open. I turn around, because when I heard them doing that at the door, I went to go get my spaniel and kind of take him away from the door, because, you know, I've mentioned this before, but I worked daycare before I did grooming. So in daycare, if you work for a professional establishment, typically you are trained fight prevention more so than breaking up fights. You're trained how to break up fights, but the most important thing is preventing the fights. So anyway, I saw that this was probably going to be an issue, and as I'm going to walk over there, he pops the thing open and pushes my door open, and him and my groom dog are like this, nose to nose. Now, I know full well how this golden is, and I knew he was going to attack. And before I even knew what happened, I have no recollection of this at all. I ran in the middle of it and I shoved my leg in. It's really not bad now. You can see like I have a little scar right here from it. But I shoved my leg in the fight. And the golden struck. He got my leg. I grabbed him all in one motion. Just grabbed him by, like, he wasn't wearing a collar, so I grabbed him by his neck skin. Just grabbed him and just held him. And my coworker was right there too, and I heard someone say, "Is he wearing a collar?" I said no, and I was just holding him, and I was like, "He got my leg." And I handed him off to somebody. They took him away. We locked the door, and I just had to take a minute because I knew he'd got me bad. And I sat down, and ironically the groom dog came over and he sat with me. He smelled my leg where he'd just gotten me, and he sat down by me, and I just sat there and just took it all in, because I know at this point, as I mentioned, I'm a 1099, meaning my medical's not covered. And I knew he got me. I knew he got me good. I couldn't see it because I was wearing pants. So I sat there. I knew at that point I certainly was not in the right state of mind to groom a dog on a tranquilizer. So I just decided I was gonna go to Walgreens, get some stuff, clean up my wounds, and see where we were at. So I did that. I managed to make it through the groom. I think it was just off of pure adrenaline more than anything. I didn't get the tranquilizer dog done because, as I mentioned, tranquilizers don't really do much for me. Like, what I've noticed is that it almost makes them more mad because they're kind of doped up and then you're still messing with them. So imagine being drugged and then somebody doing the thing you hate the most. Like, I feel like you're gonna fight harder, you know? So anyway, that's the experience I've been having with these tranquilizer dogs. That's why I'm not taking them anymore, but that's beside the point. So the important part of this story to prevent this situation from happening, one, we should not have allowed this Golden to come back, because he showed signs. I've been working here for about 1.5 years. He showed signs of this aggression pretty much from when I first started. I was noticing how aggressive he was. Since I'm a 1099 and this is a daycare dog, I don't have any say-so whether he comes or not. And he's a family friend of the owner's dog, so certainly he's not getting kicked out. And he didn't get kicked out, and he still goes there. So to prevent this from happening again, one, I'm getting the fuck out of here. This really lit a fire underneath me to get my shit straight. I have an appointment with my financial advisor. We're going over the business plan again and seeing what steps I need to make to get this business open, because this is not something I would ever allow to happen at my salon. Another thing that so basically the latch, how it works, it's like a typical gate latch. So there's like a little hole that you can put something, like lock it through, so that way it can't lift, like that little gate. So now my door stays locked all day long because I know full well this dog can open my door. So we have to completely lock up my door. And yeah, I just mainly am just trying to get out. Now, I do want to add that sticking your leg or any other part of your body into a dog fight is not a good idea. And it will get you bit. And I haven't added this yet, but let me add a couple of pictures just so that you guys can see why you shouldn't stick your leg in a dog fight. So I'll add that here. But yeah, that was what happened. I feel like this version of the story was a lot nicer than the last one that I posted, because I was I didn't post it, but I recorded it, and I was still so angry. At this point, I'm still mad. I'm still bothered that this situation was handled so poorly. None of my I wasn't reimbursed for any of the stuff I had to buy to care for my wounds. I wasn't, can't just go see a doctor because it's not covered. I have insurance on myself, but they're not going to cover work-related injuries. So, there's that. And I had to take time off work because the The first day I was okay, but day 2 and 3 I could barely walk, so I had to take that off work. Didn't get reimbursed for anything, didn't get paid for anything. And when I came back to work, one of the first things they wanted me to groom was another tranquilizer dog. I got there, that dog was standing in a corner growling at me. I sent it home. I was like, I'm not playing this anymore. So in the future, I am not going to put my groom dogs in a position where they could ever encounter a daycare dog. And yeah. Another thing I need to add is that the place I work do not have proper things to break up a fight. So had I not stuck my leg in it, we would have had a really bad fight and somebody probably still would have gotten hurt. So I did what I could. I did stop the fight. They actually never got together because, like I said, he nailed me in the leg. I grabbed him. I got him out of there. So, you know, it sucks. It was a shitty situation, and I'm still really upset about it. It was handled really terribly. And yeah, so learn from my mistakes. Don't accept a job as a 1099 because you don't have to. I don't have to either. I've gone back and forth on if I should just go start working somewhere else until I get my shop open, but I don't know. It's just never felt right, so I haven't done that. I'm just hoping I can get my shop open really quick because I certainly would never allow anything like this to happen. So I guess the moral of the story is if you don't have your salon set up in a safe way that the dogs there are safe, please do that. I promise you, dogs are a lot smarter than a lot of people give them credit for. I'm sure most people would not have expected this dog to be able to open my door, but he did. So you really have to expect the unexpected with dogs, and don't stick your leg in a fight if you can avoid it. It definitely wasn't my best move. I'm happy that I broke the fight up as quick as I did. But obviously it wasn't great that I got bit. I wish there'd been another option. At the time, that felt, well, first of all, I could barely remember doing it. I remember him biting me, but I don't remember running in the middle of it. I just remember seeing them nose to nose. I remember grabbing him after he bit me. I think I just reacted. I knew the dog he was trying to attack was on a tranquilizer, and I knew that it was a recipe for a very bad situation that was going to get really bad because the aggressor dog, the golden, when he goes after another dog, he will not stop. I mean, it's not like, you know how some dog fights, like before they're about to start, if you yell or, you know, make a noise or something, they'll stop. This dog will not stop. He's one you have to pry off of another dog. This dog, he has no business coming to a daycare. He is dangerous. He is a liability. And it's just, this whole situation has been so hard for me because this is not, I'm very used to a corporate facility. If something like this never would have happened at Camp Bow Wow, but if I were to have been bit while I was at Camp Bow Wow, it would have been covered. I would have been covered under workers' comp. It would have been paid for. I wouldn't have had an option on going to the hospital. The way Camp Bow Wow did it, if you got bit, you were going to the hospital and you were getting it examined, and chances are you were getting written up to, because basically they had so many ways to break up and prevent fights that there's no reason anybody should have ever gotten bitten. But this really, to me, this goes to show why if you don't know about dogs, if you don't know about dog fighting and the whole business in the dog industry, you don't have any business opening up a daycare facility. I'm sorry. If you are going to do something like that, you at least need to get somebody on your staff that knows what the hell they're doing, because this is just ridiculous. This was so preventable. That dog should have been kicked out a long time ago, especially now that he's bit a human. He should never come back. But he's continuing to come back, so it's a matter of time before he does it again. So it's just stupidity, and there's no reason for it. So yeah, but I felt like I needed to tell the story because I said I was going to. I said on Instagram a couple times I was going to. But it's just been hard to do because I'm so angry about it. But I just needed to get this off my chest, and I needed to talk about the steps that could have been taken to prevent this fight. First of all, that dog shouldn't have kept coming. That would have prevented it right there. Second, we should have better doors that aren't able to be opened. And third, if you're a business owner and your employee is injured and it's your fault, which it was, you need to pay for it. Okay? You don't just make somebody just take time. And I know it's my fault. At the end of the day, it's my fault because I'm the one that took the 1099 job. I'm the one that stuck my leg in the fight. I get it. It's my fault. It is. Which is why I'm going to go out of my way to prevent it in the future. Luna, come here. But it is what it is. So yeah, I hope that we all learned some valuable lessons because I know I sure as hell did. But yeah. Getting bit by a golden retriever hurts. I can tell you that much. Bruised up my entire leg. So, yeah. Learn from my mistakes. That's all I could say. Oh, but at least, like, now I'm just at the point where I'm so over it. Like, I just could give a shit less at this point. I'm just like, I need to get the hell out. So, yeah. I guess this was just a story time for anybody that's seen that I got bit by a dog and just curious as to what happened. So yeah, don't allow super aggressive dogs at your daycare or grooming facility. I get like some dogs aren't good with other dogs, but if you don't have a really good way to separate them, then don't allow them. That's just how it should be. If your dog's too aggressive to go out, then you need to not go to a grooming shop. I don't know. Because there was also a situation, I'm sure many of you guys saw, there was a situation that a dog was killed at PetSmart. It was a couple years ago, and basically what happened was, I believe there was a pit bull that was put in a faulty crate. It managed to get out of the crate, and it grabbed a dog off of a groomer's table. So it is really, really important to know if a dog is aggressive towards other dogs, and if it is, you need to take extra precautions. And if it is something like a daycare, then it needs to just not come to the daycare. And if it's for grooming, maybe schedule it on a day that it's only that dog, so it doesn't have an opportunity to get to other dogs. I don't know. There's a million ways to prevent something like this happening. There's a million and one ways. Yeah, it wasn't my best move to run and put my leg in a dog fight, but at the same time, I should have never been presented with that situation. So, dog fights are preventable, and you gotta think smart, okay? Because I'm telling you, these dogs are smart, and they can do shit, and it will surprise the fuck out of you. So yeah, moral of the story, don't stick your leg in a dog fight. Don't take aggressive dogs, especially in a daycare. And make sure that your equipment is good to go. And if you have really, you should have a fight kit. This is something I took a class on at the Atlanta Pet Fair about having a fight kit. You should have, they said like a can with pennies in it. At Camp Bow Wow, we had really high-powered hoses. We just spray them real quick. That broke up pretty much every fight, except for one. And that fight was a bad one. But this is preventable. This is so preventable. And it just really pisses me off that it happened. Pisses me off how it was taken care of. It was just a bunch of bullshit. And that did kind of contribute to me taking some time off YouTube, so I felt like you guys have the right to know. I've gotten a few subscribers since I made my last video, so hello, if you're new. I appreciate you guys coming on here and listening to me just talk about things, because that's what a lot of these videos have turned into. But yeah, I'm gonna get off here because I feel like I've rambled on enough. I think we get it by now. Don't stick your legs in dog fights. Don't take aggressive dogs. Maybe don't take tranquilizer dogs either, unless you have better luck with it than I do. But I have not had good luck with it at all, so I don't know. That's just me. Just a personal opinion. I'm not taking any more tranquilizer dogs. So if it's got to be on a tranquilizer, it can either go to a different groomer or it can go to a vet and be sedated. If it's to that point that it has to have a tranquilizer, like it can't be groomed otherwise, then it's not coming to me. That's just, I don't need to groom every dog in the world. That's just the way it is. So I just want to be upfront with you guys. I want to be honest with you guys. I want to tell you guys the honest story of what happened. And I want to set you guys up for success so nobody has to experience what I did, because that was not a fun time, okay? But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, because honestly, it was one hell of a story, right? Ugh, I can still, like, just picture that day in my head so clear. Isn't it so crazy how you just go into a day thinking it's going to be a normal day, and then next thing you know, something changes your life? Because I can tell you, this is going to change my life. This is probably going to be there forever. This should have probably been stitched, and it was not. So, it was... What are we going to do? We get it, right? We get it. We know what I'm trying to say at this point. Yep. Don't stick your leg in a dog fight. Don't allow aggressive dogs at daycare. If dogs are aggressive towards another dog, probably not a good candidate for daycare, am I right? Alright, you guys. What do we even say at this point, okay? Anyway, I'm gonna get off here for real, but thank you guys for listening to my ramble about dog fighting and how to prevent it. Alright guys, thank you. Bye!